In the history of this nation, for the very, very first time, we have had a huge number of women coming out to seek political office in these elections coming up in August 2022. As a matter of fact, about 23 women came out to seek, to show interest in the position of county governor, and that is huge, given some of the statistics that we'll probably share with you later on the show. And therefore, as a show that connects, influences, and empowers women in this nation, outside of this nation, globally, it is a privilege to highlight some of the stories of the women who are seeking this position, right from the MCA position all the way to the presidential position. Hi there and welcome to Her Standards. My name is Queen Tambori. As usual, I just want to thank you very much for keeping it here every Saturday, 4 p.m. Today we want to interview an amazing lady. She calls herself a budding politician. I don't know why she's budding, but she'll be able to explain herself later. Before I introduce her, remember, we are available on socials across Facebook, Instagram, Twitter as KTN Home. You can hit me up at Queen Tambori on Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter, LinkedIn. You can also talk to our producer. We'll be able to share her social media handles on the scroll. You can take a look and you can also hit her up. How is the political temperature from wherever you are? How are things going? We would like to know what's happening in your area. Which political aspirants are hopeful? Who are you likely to vote for the different positions that are coming up? We would like to know more about that. Please don't hesitate to drop a comment and we'll try as much as possible to get in touch with you. Now, without much ado, I'm going to introduce my guest, and she is called Sefu Sanni. Sefu Sanni is here with us today. We want to get to know her. We are happy that you are getting to know her and meet her for the very first time on Her Standards. Hi, Sefu.
Hi, Quinta.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're on the ballot.
I'm on the ballot.
Are you happy?
I'm very happy, of course. It was a bit upstream for me, but I'm happy that I got there and that I'm here now. Yeah, and of course it was a bit, challenging even to step out and to decide that, okay, now, this is the path and this is me, and I was there, showing myself to the world and letting people know that now I'm vying for this seat. Yeah.
Congratulations. I mean, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
In my next life, I'll be a politician. Can't say so much about it right now. Now, a bit about you before you can tell us who you are in your own words. Sefu Sanni describes herself as a gender and human rights activist. She is an artist, and of course, as I had mentioned, she says she's a budding politician. As we speak right now, her name is on the ballot, and she's vying for member of County Assembly for Woodley Kenyatta Golf Course Ward with the party that is CPK, which is Communist Party of Kenya. Tell me about that.
Yes, so about being a gender and human rights activist, as you've said, it's true. I started working with the World March of Women, which is an organization that works with grassroots women to eradicate the root causes of poverty, gender-based violence, and issues affecting women. And we've done a lot of work across the country. We've gone to Kisumu, to Nyandarua here in Nairobi, and even internationally we link with other women to get to know their struggles and how we can continue in the liberation of the women. And apart from that as well, I head the Women League of the Communist Party of Kenya. So I'm very passionate about the issues of women, and especially, the grassroots women and the issues, that are affecting these people. For a member of County Assembly for Woodley Kenyatta Golf Course Ward, I am born, I'm bred, I live in Kenyatta Estate, and I've seen all the issues that have been going on from a long time, since I have grown up, the issues of unemployment of the young people. I myself have been in that position where, I was unemployed, seeing people I went to school with, people I'm growing up with. And it gave me a challenge, and especially after I joined the political party, it opens your eyes. And I asked myself, why can't I be that person who stands up for my people? So for me to stand up for the people of Woodley, for the people of Lainisaba, Golf Course, Upper Hill, Kenyatta, it's because of the issues that I've seen. But mostly, Quinta, it's because of the lack of leadership that we have. in the country. And I feel like politics is not just about, you know, politicking and giving promises. It's about leadership. And it's high time that we had leadership right from the grassroots to come up. And if I've been in all these, you know, leadership positions, working with all these organizations, then I'm bringing something to the table for my people of Woodley. And also as an artist, as you said, I'm a creative, singer, songwriter. I also do voiceovers and communications. So as you get to see, I did a song for women leadership. It's called Vota Dada, which is inspiring women to come out, as you've said, to come out and get voted. And of course, you can find that on YouTube. And other songs, you know, about governance, one that is talking about us maintaining peace even during this election period, because the elections will come and go.
Yeah.
And I feel like just because, you know, we are on two opposing sides, I'm not enemies, you know, with my competitors. It's just that we are all presenting ourselves on who can do better for the people. So my urge to the people of Woodley and to the people of Kenya at large is that even during this time of election, we maintain peace, because, you know, at the end of the day, you need your neighbor. These are the people you go to every day to ask for salt, to ask for, you know, these are the people you integrate with. Your neighbor is your tribe. Your tribe is not, you know, necessarily the person who comes from your from your village. So yeah.
Wow, it's good to have you on her standards.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, was the CPK your party of choice from the word go?
CPK was my party of choice from the word go. So I joined the party about 3 years ago. And in the party, we go through a rigorous process. So we have 2 stages of members. One is the mass members, whereby anybody can just come and join so long as they believe in the ideology. But we also have cadre members. A cadre member, goes through some ideological training, which continues throughout the period that you're in the party. But as you begin in the party, we call them study circles, where you join a study circle. It is, you give it a name, you're about 10, 20 people. It could be from the same area. Previously, before COVID, it would be physical and you would meet in a central place. But after COVID, it became, you meet online via Zoom or any other platform. So in that study circle, you have material which you study about ideology, about political economy, about socialism, about, you know, revolutionary people like Karl Marx, Thomas Sankara. So you get to learn more about your society. So it's, for me, it wasn't just about, you know, getting into politics. It's an ideological study that I have gone through for a period of time. And for most members of the party who are cadres, that is the same path. And of course, now to also urge Kenyans for us to have politics of ideology, real ideology, where someone does not just stand up today and say, okay, now, you know, here I am. Because for me, I've gone through 2 years of rigorous training. It's every week, and you're given material, sometimes 200 pages. So it's something you have to go through. You meet in a study circle, you discuss those issues with the people you're with, and you also discuss how it affects, you know, the society, and what are you going to do once you're faced with those challenges. So it's like a training, you know, theory which informs practice, and then the practice, once you get into the ground, now you go back and inform the theory. So even from my vying in this Woodley, I would go back, you know, and give a report that this is what has happened, and other people who are in the party would be able to learn from it and move forward.
Good stuff. Did we meet a few days ago? There was a forum at one of the embassies in the country.
No.
Yeah, anyway, the reason I'm asking her that is because I was privileged to sit or to have a moment, share a moment with the women political aspirants. I really enjoy working with them and hanging out with them. And what was happening is we were reflecting on the party primaries, you know, the lessons, the opportunities, the challenges. And something that came out strongly was the fact that the party primaries were not friendly to women candidates, be it the zoning or the party dynamics or the negotiated democracy. Women were complaining, you know, right, left and center. Somehow this formula was not working for them. So how was it in your party? Did you get a direct ticket, or did you have to go through the party primaries? And what are some of the lessons that you picked from that?
I had to go through some of the primaries in the party. Of course, if you're vying with several other people, there's that issue of negotiated democracy, which a lot of women have spoken up for. But one thing I want to say, I think, Quinta, you saw that with the IBC, when the lists were being taken, there was an issue with the women candidates, and not for one party. This happened for all the parties, where, there was a two-third gender rule,
Yes.
of course, which, has been done for now, unfortunately. But that's because, a lot of women, there are a lot of challenges, I think, that women face, that they're not able to come up, for political leadership, be they economic, be they, social, cultural, for them. And I think also in my party, it was the same thing. I want to hail...
Even after going through the training?
Yes, I want to hail the women. I think we need to do more training. And there's the Day of the Pan-African Woman coming on 31st of July, which we hope to do, more sensitization for women. And of course, it's something that I even want to take up with the Women League of the party, of course, working with other organizations, for us to be able to train women from the onset, that the training should not just be maybe 6 months before elections, but even immediately after we finish, we have that rigorous training of, especially the issue of resources, because I think that's one of the most biggest issue of, how can we get resources, how can we get over, the social cultural issues in the country, the issues of patriarchy, and also just how to change the system and provide a credible leadership. But of course, the party primaries has, its own issues. For me, it wasn't that bad. I was able to navigate through it, although it was credible, it was fair. And of course, if there's a place where there's injustice, we go through the system and we try and find justice. So that's what I would urge, my fellow women, but also for them, to work together as a bloc and to work with, the leaders in the party, so that we are able to push the agendas of women forward.
It's funny that you mentioned the issue of financing, because that's quite a drawback for women's political ambitions, because everywhere I have gone to, whether it's just a forum where I am a participant, a forum where I'm a trainer, one thing that comes out strongly is women are looking for money.
True.
Yeah. What can we do? Because we need those political positions. One, it is in the Constitution, even though, of course, we are getting a raw deal out of it. We need to attain the two-thirds gender rule. It's not, I don't know how soon it's going to happen. Hopefully, this coming parliament will ensure that it is effected. But how can we ensure that women, the playground is leveled? Yeah, because what we need is just that leveling. As we speak today, we know that decisions are made sometimes at hours that are not convenient for women, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
true.
you think that you have a party ticket. When you go to sleep, when you wake up, it is a totally different ball game, and there are new lists and there are new names. So what do you think women need to do in order to excel in politics? Because again, we don't want to be called, perennial whiners. We're always just whining, this is not working, we don't have money, we are being bullied, we are going through SGBV. We have to find a working formula.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you propose?
What I propose is that for us women to be part of the solution. What do I mean by that? Especially, I mean, you've spoken about, the odd hours in which some political decisions are made, and I think it's high time for us as women to rise up to the plate. If it's that odd hour, get in at that odd hour. Be a leader as well. Where people are meeting, make sure that you're on the table. Or even if you're not on the table, you have a representative who is on the table, so that you know what is going on around the table. But also, even for us as women, I think it's also very imperative that we work side by side with the men that we're with. Whenever there's a lot of sensitization, one of the things that we do is maybe we seclude ourselves as women, and we go and, we talk about all these issues. But for society to change, Quinta, we cannot be in seclusion. We need to work hand in hand. If it's getting information out there, I'm sure there are a lot of men who want to uplift the women, who want to get information. Let us work hand in hand with them. When we are doing the sensitization, education, let us ensure that we are also doing the education with them, so that even them, they don't feel like, hey, now these women are progressing, which is not really the case. Maybe it's just that there's a lot of sensitization now happening for women. But my urge for women is that for us to be, part of the table when the discussions are being made deliberately. Either you talk to the men, you talk to your fellow women, be part of the table, have a representative at the table, so that you have the information, because information is power.
Actually, someone once said that it's good to have a male sponsor sometimes when decisions are being made behind closed doors, someone is speaking on your behalf. They're mentioning your name. You heard that?
Yeah, I did. I'm not speaking about male sponsors. Let me just be very clear.
Yeah.
No. What I'm saying is, one, not have either be part of the table where decisions are being made because it is your right, and because, you know, not just even because you're a woman, but because you qualify, you know, by all means, you're a great leader. There's no difference between you and anybody else who is sitting at that table. But if for any purpose you're not able to sit at that table, then have whomever person who is sitting at that table have the information of what is going on, you know, at that table. But mostly women should be part of the decision making. You know, they shouldn't be intersectionality of, you know, it should be, I'm a leader, you know, I am able, I have, you know, the qualifications, so I should be at the table, you know, to make the decisions. But also another thing, I mean, there are a lot of gender roles that are assigned to women. That's why I was talking about social cultural. You know, I mean, raising children, you know, having to take care of the house. And I think now it's high time that, you know, these gender roles are distributed fairly. So that now, you know, we are all...
The elders are watching.
Yeah, no, it's good for us to help each other. It's good for example, children to know their fathers as much as they know their mothers. It's good for, you know, for all this to happen, so that, you know, I mean, for the domestic care, it's not just for women, but we are all able to work together. In that way, then we work together in the leadership sector. We work together in this other sector.
2 points. I hope they won't slip through my fingers before I ask you the question. One is in terms of the gender roles, because traditionally, and I'm talking from having interacted with a couple of female politicians, one thing that keeps coming up again is women politicians being accused of neglecting their wifely or motherly duties. Okay? You're laughing?
Yes.
Yeah. And the other thing that I wanted to bring out was, no, you can respond to that first as I collect my thoughts together. Yeah. Is it true that women who are joining politics, they make poor wives or girlfriends or mothers? That is a word that is out there, and women have complained. In fact, I remember this lady who said that the husband called her from the campaign and told her, kuja nyumbani, sit at that corner, I'm still trying to figure out what to tell you about your political ambitions. That's one. The other person actually was divorced because they decided to join politics. So is it
the divorce happened because she joined
politics? So can, you know, marriage and relationships, can it run concurrently with politics? And in that case, how can you navigate both of them such that one side does not, you know, fall apart? Yeah.
No, I think, you know, it's not true when you say that, you know, politicians make poor wives or poor mothers. First of all, you know, I don't think it's true. Actually, if anything, I think the people who are in politics, you know, I have a very, I want to call it leadership, you know, as opposed to politics. These are people who are in leadership. These are people, you know, who are showing other people the way. So if I truly am a leader, would it suffice to say that I could, it could be difficult for me to be a leader in my own home or in my own marriage, but I'm a leader outside? You know, for you to be able to be a leader in any position, the leadership starts from the grassroots. So you cannot go out there to lead a nation if you cannot lead a family, or if you cannot, you know. Yes, so I think for the leadership, anybody who is in politics would be able to navigate. I think the only issue here is just being able, for example, with the husbands to come to an agreement or discuss, so that you're working on this together. This is, it is a goal that this person is, you know, holding your hand in, and it is not, you know, in isolation. And not just your husband, the community as well. They should see you as, you know, this is our daughter, this is our mother, this is this person. So in that way, then it becomes easy to navigate, as opposed to when you're all alone. Because whenever you're seeking political leadership, you're seeking to actually lead and govern, you know, other people. So when you have support, I think that works well. Yeah,
it's your first time?
It is my first time.
And how is that going? Do you like it?
Of course,
Would you do it again?
Yes, I would do it again. Of course, I'm hoping to win and to be able to be of service to the people of Woodley Kenyatta Golf Course. of course, there are challenges on the ground, the issue of resources. I don't know whether maybe I've seen that, there are inflation rates in the country, and recently we had a march for Sabasaba where we were speaking about the prices of food for the people, which have gone completely high. Unga was retailing as 250 shillings, you can imagine. The price of oil, like for just a basic person, it was so difficult to survive in this country. So with that, then you can imagine how it is for us going on the ground as politicians or as leaders, or to seek political roles. As I was telling you earlier, we go through an ideological process, and that process has helped me to be extremely grounded. It has helped me, I have gone through, readings, I have prepared myself psychologically. Although when we go to the ground, people still ask for money, because for most of the people, leadership is give me something. Nipatie miambili, nipatie so, nipatie. Although one thing I'd like to say is, from the people of Woodley, because we were doing door-to-door, walking to different business areas, to different houses, there really is a lack of leadership. So what people really are looking to see is, are you really a leader? Are you sure that you are going to deliver for us? Because they've been promised so many things by so many people. They have believed so much. They have hoped, and that hope has not come to fruition. So for them to truly believe in you, you have to really, really touch their hearts and indent it in them. Otherwise, now that thing they call it gwara gwara. Mekuja kugwara. Wanakugwara tu, wanasema sasa wewe, tuachie so moja, tuachie chai, tuachie unga. But it's also because of the economy and what is happening, in the country. But I would just like to urge, the people who are out there, that the citizens are the people who have the power. And the power is in your vote and in the people you choose. So choose leaders who are actually, you can hold accountable. I think accountability is what people don't know, that they're the people who are holding these people in office. You've given them work. Hold them accountable on their manifestos. Hold them accountable on the things that they've said, they will do for you. And also there should be a system that, if you can't be held accountable, then this is an office you can exit. We've seen it in the UK, that someone, holding such high office as a prime minister can exit because of something so small. But that's because the people know that this person is accountable to us. So that's a challenge I want to give to Kenyans, to my people of Woodley, that leaders are accountable to you. So give the position to someone who, said they will do A, B, C, D for you people. And I think with that, I'll give my 6-point manifesto for the people of Woodley Kenyatta Golf Course that I'd like to do for them. And I think the first thing is to tackle the issue of unemployment, and especially youth unemployment, and to also empower the youth, and to do this through sports, through arts, and entertainment. And with sports, of course, we are working with, I've started networks with the different football teams in the area, in Kenyatta Estate, in Saba, in Woodley, so that we are able, to work together towards that, to do tournaments, to have leagues in the area, so that now the youth, are employed from that. And with the arts, linking the youth with studios for those who are doing that, for those who are doing theater. We can even have a canter in the area where they practice every weekend, and they have shows. And with that, then people are able to get money. There's economic empowerment for the people. My second manifesto would be on the issue of gender equality and gender-based violence. And I think maybe just to say, you spoke of SBV, before. Sexual
gender-based violence.
Yes. But every time we speak about gender, people feel like we're speaking about women. But gender it's for both the men and women, where there's a disparity. It's just that in the society, because it's been very patriarchal, the men are here and the women are here. So we just want to raise it a bit so that we are equal. But for gender equality and gender-based violence. My third issue would be social justice, which I'm also very passionate about. And I think a lot of people have spoken about this, as espoused in our Constitution, in Article 43, when you look about it. Socio-economic rights. We have socio-economic rights, right to a decent house, right to water and sanitation, right to good roads, right to education. A lot of people are not able to access education, and not just education, but education of their choice. For example, when COVID-19 came, and which is still there. You know, people were expected to wash their hands, you know, but it was the right of the people to be able to have water. But look at the people who are living in informal settlements, and look at, you know, the spaces, and you know how many people are crumpled, the issue of water in the city. I mean, it's very challenging, you know, for us as a country, 60 years after elections, and we are not able to provide such things. But also for education, when the issue of the CBC curriculum comes about, I think the CBC was a good idea, but of course there are some other things that, you know, should be considered. For example, we can have CBC centers in the schools where we already know what the curriculum is. The children can be going there and they're equipped with the work that they need to do. So I would plan to have CBC centers in Woodley Kenyatta Golf Course to work with like-minded organizations so that kids can be able to do their work from, you know, their homework or this work that they have to do from the schools where there are printers, where they can do this, because some of the children are not able, you know, to access such things. Some of the parents are not even able to provide this for their kids. And of course, economic empowerment for the people. And this goes with my other manifesto for legislation for the area. For example, I come from Woodley Kenyatta Golf Course, and it has 3 markets, Udaya Market, it has Kenyatta Market, it has Toy Market. So we can say that after every kilometer in Woodley, there should be a dustbin, you know, where there's people who collect the garbage and who maintain it. And from there, the youth from the area can be given, you know, the work, or the people who are unemployed. So we say, if it's Kenyatta area, the youth in Kenyatta maintain it. If it's Line Saba, the youth in Line Saba maintain it. If it's Woodley, the youth in this area. In that way, then we are able to provide, you know, employment for these people. And it's something that is run by the community. You know, okay, these are our people. Another thing is about the toothpick industry, and I've mentioned Kenyatta Market, but you see that in our country, for example, all the toothpicks we have come from China. But why is this the case? Having a place like Kenyatta Market where people are always having meat, we can have an industry, you know, that produces toothpicks, which is run by the people in that area. So with that, you know, there's an economic resource going on. There's economic empowerment for the people. And the last thing I would speak about is the empowerment of small businesses, kuinua biashara na wanabiashara wadogo wadogo. Tuko na salonist wengi Kenyatta Market. Tukiweka kwa cooperatives, hata kama ya 100 people, where they are able to access loans, some of which, of course, if we work with other people and the county board, we are able to help them to even expand their businesses. I think those are some of the things I'd like to do for
of course,
the people
yeah,
of Woodley.
the people of Woodley. You can hold your hopefully next MCA to account, because she has quite an appealing manifesto for you. If she lives up to the promises, then it looks like Woodley would be a small city within the city, the big city of Nairobi. This is Her Standards with me, Quinton Boro. We want to take a short break. Today we are hanging out with Sefu Sanni. She is an MCA aspirant in the forthcoming general elections. Do not go away. You can always talk to her on social media. I believe she's on social media. She'll give us her handles when we come back. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Her Standards with me, Quinton Boro. Thank you for keeping it here and for keeping us company. Remember, this is the show that that celebrates women, that honors female role models, and of course, in the month of August, we are celebrating female politicians. And why? Because for the very, very first time in this country, we have seen some of the highest numbers in women who have come out to look for political offices. Today, I am privileged to be in the company of one. She is an MCA aspirant for Woodley Kenyatta Golf Course Ward. She's called Sefu Sanni, and we're just having a discussion about what happened in the party primaries, reflecting on some of the lessons, challenges, and opportunities that are available for women who are seeking political office. Remember, We are available across all social media at KTN Home, and you can also talk to me directly at Quintambori on Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter. And of course, my guest is also on social media, right?
Yes, so you can find us on Facebook. Our handle is Sefu for MCA, Woodley Kenyatta Golf Course 2022. So you can like, you can interact with us. Also, we have an email, which is sefuwoodleymca2022 at gmail.com. Yes, so if you want to interact with us, if you have questions, if you want to invite us for door-to-door to your area, if you want to help us with resources, yeah, that is the place to find.
Particularly that one.
The resources, yes, please, for any donors who are outside there, foodstuffs, T-shirts, any resources really, because it's a very rigorous process. So I'm appealing to you, for the people of Woodley, to come in, to hold my hand, to support through those means.
Yeah. Social media is an amazing platform, Sefu, but also they say it's a double-edged sword. It can bite you from both sides. Yeah. What has been your experience with social media? Have you ever experienced any form of cyberbullying?
Cyberbullying? Yeah. Maybe once, probably. Of course, I mean, being in this space, there are people who will just hate. Yeah. But I think so far so good, especially being a first-time aspirant. From what I've posted on my pages, the people are receiving it well. Yeah. They are urging you, to continue. So far so good. Maybe just one incident which I was able to just block it out because it wasn't, I was able to see, okay, this one, let me just move on. But I mean, if 90% of what I've been getting is good, I focus on that.
You focus on that?
Yes. But I'm aware of cyberbullying. I'm aware of it happening, to my friends, to other people. Even in the party pages, we've seen, some bullying where there's some people who just, they want to take you down. We have a YouTube page for the party, Communist Party of Kenya on YouTube, where we do interviews, we have, songs and content. And of course, there are people who will just come there to tear you down.
They call keyboard warriors.
What is this? And, so of course, in that form, then, there's cyberbullying. But I think those are things that you can just, ignore or block, and also have people who affirm and reaffirm you, each and every time. But I think we should also have laws against, cyberbullying, where legal action can be taken against such people, because it is infringing, on other people's rights.
True story. Yeah. Ageism is very much popular in my field, where when you hit a certain age, and people start feeling like you're not good enough for the screen, but I also realize that ageism also exists in the world of politics, particularly for first-timers. Having interacted with a bunch of them, and this thing kept coming up, like their electorates or their voters were telling them, you're too young. Ngojea, time yako itakuja. You still have a long way to go.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you had that kind of experience?
Being a youth, yes, in the demographic, of 18 to 35. Yeah. Of course, there are people who keep saying, you're very young. First of all, what even inspired you to do this, and things like that. Of course, they come up, and especially now, when you're representing such a huge population of people. But also, Quinta, I think for a very long period of time, and everybody has heard of this. I'm sure you've heard of this. Vijana ndio viongozi wa kesho. We are the leaders of tomorrow. Yeah. And I think even people started countering that and saying, sisi si viongozi wa kesho, sisi ni viongozi wa sasa. Na kama we ni kiongozi wa sasa, kiongozi wa sasa atatengenezekaje? How are you going to be a leader now? You become a leader now by stepping into the power. You don't wait for this to be handed over to you. Even with the challenges, I'm facing a lot of challenges for resources. But even with that, I'm still determined, because my will to be able to lead my people, my will to be able to serve, my will to be able to bring change, and especially hope for my people, is stronger than all the challenges that I'm facing. So even my appeal to all the young people who are out there and want to venture into this field is just get in. No matter what they say, you follow your heart. There's a lady who won the Oscars from Kenya, and she said, Your dreams are valid. They are valid, and validity is, they are valid no matter who you are. They are valid no matter where you come from. They are valid regardless of your age. And I don't think age really is what makes a leader. First of all, it's you know, it's experience that you have, it's the vision that you have for the people, is what you can do for them. I want to thank the people of Woodley, honestly, because when it comes to that, they have received me well. There are one or two, but they have received me well. They're able to say, this is a leader. But it also comes from what it is that you're offering the people, Quinta. But the crisis of leadership, I want to reiterate that we are having in this country. Why is there a crisis of leadership? We've had leaders, you know, for example, in the nation who are 60 years. We've had MCAs in Woodley. Actually, I'm the only lady now who's vying. I'm the youngest of all the candidates who are vying. And we've had leaders previously who are much older, and they were unable, you know, to bring change to the people. They were unable, you know, to offer the leadership that they said that they would. So my biggest challenge is, try now this leadership, try this youthful leadership. It is energetic, it's vigorous, I'm ready to serve the people. So I think that would be my challenge to the people. We saw one of the leaders in Meru in the previous election cycle who was walking with a bicycle, you know, and, you know, he was able to get elected. He was a very young man, and I'm sure he's done tremendously for his people. So I'm sure people are able to see through now, you know, because a leader is not, it's not someone of gender or age. Leadership is the service that you're taking to the people. Leadership is you being able to change the things that are happening for them, and not, you know, necessarily specific age.
You know, we have, in these elections, we have probably some of the youngest candidates right now. You know, somewhere in Bomet County, I think there's a very young lady. She's called Toto. Toto. Yeah?
Yes.
And, you know, that is a plus for women. It's also a plus for the youthful generation in this country. But on the contrary, we have also seen parties where, you know, youthful politicians or youthful candidates are shunned or even bullied. What would you tell, you know, we are not going to mention names.
Yes.
Yeah, what would you tell those political parties or political leaders? Yeah. What is it about the youthful generation that probably can add value to the leadership that we have for today?
Let me tell you something, Quinta. You know, when you have a generation of leaders, you can't just have one specific generation. Why? Because it's going to die off. Even when you look at nature, when you look at the cycle of nature, there are always, you know, there's always stages of people. There's the young, there's the middle age, there's the, you know, life replenishes itself. Once the old gets out of cycle, something new has to come. The same thing happens with leadership. The same thing happens in any other organization. You know, you have to have people that you're mentoring, people who are behind you. And that is also even one of the issues we've had in our politics, even in the national politics for the country. Why? Because people do not want to mentor somebody. You don't mentor somebody through a period of 6 months. This is something that happens over the 5 years. You say, okay, now we are teaching this person and they're going to take over. Young people have a lot of energy, they have a lot of vigor. And of course, they can work with other people who've been there before. It's important to have support. When you look at the YK92, for example, most of them have actually, I think all of them are leaders right now in the country. So I think for the young people who are in the parties, I think they should really fight. And even in the Kenyan Constitution, the PWDs, the women and the youth are special interest group. Why are they special interest group? Because we want to work with a society that is whole. Our leadership should be a representation of what is on the ground. Joto nasema kwa ground. But a leader is different. Sijui hapa ni kwa ground ama huko juu. Lakini the leadership that we have should be a representation of what is on the ground. You know, what is the population of young people in the country? Young people actually make, you know, the bulk of the population of this nation. In that way, then, they should be the people who are in leadership. They should be the people who are able to, you know, to influence policies because the young people know what it is that they need. You know, recently in the country, we've had such snarl-ups where we have a 92-year-old heading the Ministry of Gender and Sports, which, you know, when you look at it, it's a bit, it's comical to say the least, you know. So I think for these young people, they should fight for their spaces, you know, fight to get a seat at the table. But if you don't get a seat at the table, create your own table.
Come with your own chair.
Yes, don't come with your chair, create your own table.
Create your own table and turn on your mic.
Yeah.
There's too many instructions. I would love to read a bit of data, maybe if there are youthful Kenyans out here. In the 2017 general elections, actually, only 1.5 female youth participated as candidates. Men were about 22.1. And then, of course, out of this, only 1% of young women were elected, compared to 15.8. So in case you're watching, you probably now understand why people like Sefu are really, you know, gunning for these positions, because of equal representation. You must represent. You must have a proper representation of society. I have one serious question for you before we move now to get to know the, you know, the other side of you, the singer, the artist. Yeah. One thing that I see politicians, not just women politicians, struggle with is the issue of branding. And you know, the reason why branding is important is because it unlocks your relationship with with the institutions that can actually propel your political ambition to the next level, such as media. Okay. What do you think politicians, or women politicians, because most of our viewers are women, what do you think women politicians can do in order to tap into who they really are, so that the electorates can buy in, the voters can buy in, the media can buy in, and people can really get to know exactly who they are and what they stand for? Because that is a gray area. How do you package yourself as a politician? You're a communication expert. Yeah.
No, what I would say, Quinta, is authenticity, basically. One, just be authentic about who you are as a person. You know, whenever, and I think I've really stressed on this, but I'm going to stress on this again, the issue of leadership as opposed to, you know, politics. When you go into any role in the country, you are a leader. But the fact that you're a leader does not take away from other things that you are. The fact that I'm a leader right now and I've been in many positions does not take away that I'm a singer, you know, that I'm talented in that area. It does not take away, you know, that I'm a friend, that I'm a daughter, that I'm a mother. It does not take away, you know, all those other aspects of the person that I am. So authenticity, because as human beings, we go through the same things every day. You know, walking on the ground, you realize, ile shida wewe uko nayo ya kununua unga, huyo mama wapo chini ako na hiyo shida. Huyo mbaba unaongelesha businessman ako na hiyo shida. Kwa hivyo, hao watu wanaweza relate na wewe kwa sababu you're going through the same thing. So tu ni authenticity, where, you know, you don't make yourself look like you're at a pedestal and people now cannot relate to you. But also when it comes to the issue of branding, I also feel like that is something, for example, that comes with time or with an experience that you have, or, you know, maybe with people that you meet. For example, when you look at even the musicians who come into the scene, I don't want to give examples, but I can give, you know, Sauti Sol when they were beginning, and when you look at them now, there's a lot of change. Of course, there's talent that brings you there. And like, for example, in politics, there's leadership, you know, there's something that brings you to the table. But along the way, there are things you learn, there are ropes you go through. The issue of branding is important. It helps to package you. It helps to, you know, to sell you to an audience, to move you, to have these people come in who can propel you. But also the issue of branding, as I said, is something that a lot of women leaders need to get sensitized about, because there are a lot of people who are leaders, you know, in the actual sense, but they don't know how to package themselves. There are a lot of people who've packaged themselves very well, but they're not leaders, and that's the problem. You package yourself so well, and you know, yes, you sell, but ukikuja huku hakuna kitu una deliver, kwa sababu gani wewe ulipackage, you know. So I think that is also some of the things that we need sensitization about. You know, we need to get out there so that people can learn. And of course, that is something that, you know, you learn over time.
But I am more on to you if you're a voter, because you are actually caught in between. Yeah. Probably there's a good leader out there and they don't know how to package themselves. On the flip side, there could be somebody who is totally not a leader, but the packaging is so good you feel like voting for them. I'm sure we've been victims of both. But as we move towards the elections very soon, we hope that you're going to make the right decision. Allow me to switch gears a bit, because this politician, this leader, is also a singer. And we'd also like to know a bit about that side of her. In very few minutes, I see my producer is Her alarm is going up, yes. So when did you discover that you were a singer? And how long have you been doing it?
I think when I was in high school, when I joined Form 1, I went to Pangani Girls High School, and we used to have these festivals for singing. So when I joined Form 1, you know, they needed someone to write, they needed a song. You know, and I remember growing up, my mom, my grandma, they'd always sing to me. So I wrote this long song in my vernacular language, 15 minutes. And I was in Form 1, I just joined school. So when I presented it to one of the cops at that time, she was so excited because my house at that time, Peacock House, we didn't have anything to present. So she's like, you know, teach the people this song. I taught the people this song. They're like, now you'll have to be the soloist for this song. So from there, of course, I continued with that. When I was in high school, we formed a girls singing group, which was called LG7. And we'd sing, we'd meet, we'd write songs, we'd teach each other. So when I left school, I didn't think of it. I didn't really think of it. I didn't even know that I was doing it. You know, it's just those things you do and you're happy. When I left school and I was 18, of course, I joined the youth group from my church, Don Bosco Upper Hill, which is in Woodley. And I got to join the choir because they used to really incorporate the youth in the activities. And through that, then I started singing in the choir. Then I got leadership in the choir, I became a secretary. But I started singing in the choir, and with that, once in a while, they'd say, okay, Sefu, today you go and sing the psalm, and I would sing, and guys were like, okay, you're doing it so well. And afterwards, you know, it became a thing. People are like, okay, I'm having a birthday. Can you come and sing for me? Can you do this? And someone is like, oh, I'm having Valentine's. Can you come and sing for my girlfriend or my wife? So it came a time where I was singing for about, you know, 20 people in a day.
Making money?
Yes, and I'm doing deliveries for them. So someone says, okay, I'll give you this amount of money. It's Valentine's Day, deliver flowers for my wife, deliver chocolates, and we'll pay you this
You started doing this thing, what's the name of this TikToker? David who? David Moya, the one who delivers flowers and dances for people. You started doing it before?
I was doing it in 2011.
But there was no TikTok.
There was no TikTok, imagine. Okay. But yeah, you were doing it. And of course, with that, now I started venturing into much broader singing, singing with a band. And with that, now I grew into full-blown singing. So even when you check our page, our Communist Party of Kenya on YouTube, you'll see a couple of songs on leadership and governance, other songs that I've done even before now, before venturing into leadership, of course. Yeah, just music. So I sing, I play the guitar. I wish you brought it. Yeah. Yes, I play the guitar. Maybe I'll share a couple of videos with you. Yes, and I love singing, more or less. I'm also in a group for women called Support Women Artists now. It's called SWAN. So we hold it every year in March. We have women artists come together, they sing, they dance, they do different forms of art, beadwork, people who do karate, anything that MCs, anything that is in that, in
the creative space.
Yeah, so.
Thank you so much. It looks like our time is
done.
Our time is done, but you'll have to give us a line on Votadada, as we wind up. Yeah, but maybe just allow me to bid our viewers bye for now. Remember, this has been Her Standards with me, as usual, Quinta Mbori. I love hosting this show because I get to interact with these amazing women, including my guest for today, who is Sefu, Sanni, and MCA aspirant for Woodley Golf Course Ward.
Woodley Kenyatta Golf Course.
Woodley Kenyatta Golf Course.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wish her all the best in the elections. We hope that she's elected. And of course, we'll hold her to accountable. She has given us a beautiful manifesto, which we are hoping that we will be able to come true in the event that she's elected.
Thank you.
Asante sana. Thank you for hosting us, and we wish you all the best.
You'll help me sing Votadada.
Of course, I'm going to help you sing Votadada. I'm always a very good, I do very beautiful harmonies.
Wow, let's form a band and start singing together.
Okay.
Tuungane pamoja, kauli mbiu moja, wakati ni sasa.
Votadada.
Tuungane pamoja, kauli mbiu moja, wakati ni sasa. Votadada. Wamama msilale, wakati wetu umefika. Wanawake msilale, Votadada. Vijana msilale, wakati wetu umefika. Wakenya msilale, Votadada.
Vote a dada.
You can find this on YouTube. Vote a dada.
See you next time.